All right. So today I want to talk about something new, and I
Mhm.
want to go a little bit more into the idea of predictive modeling and basically the idea of what you call alphas. So effectively, what is an alpha and how can we test it and what does an alpha do? What does it help us? And the reason why I'm doing it is basically that gives you tools to do your own research into things. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do with this is to basically show you, okay, this is how you do your research and how you find interesting things in the markets. Yeah. And so you probably remember that when you do a linear regression, right, you got basically in two dimensions, you got a slope and an intercept. So normally the slope is denoted with beta and the intercept is alpha. Yeah. And interestingly, this linear regression, or when we talk about alpha, so we're actually saying is, well, we're doing a linear regression between our predictors and the market returns, and we're trying to find a correlation between our predictive values and the market returns. Yeah. So do you remember when we did the moving average crossover?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say we want to know whether a specific, say, moving average divergence has some predictive power in the market. Yeah. So what we can do, and let's just do this here for our portfolio. And we've got the reds already here. Let me just check. So that's our portfolio of like four different assets. And so what we can do is we can produce what we call a factor. And a factor is effectively something that may have some predictive power. Yeah. So we call this factor. And now what we can do is, let's just say we look at the moving average divergence of this factor. So what we do is, so we go reds dot, and you remember moving average, we go rolling. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we have a rolling window. Let's just say, let's just say 5. Yeah. And then minus, and then we do reds dot rolling 50. But the rolling window isn't enough. We have to specify what we actually want to do in this rolling window. And because it's a moving average, we just calculate the mean. So we go dot mean. Yeah. Dot mean. So that's our factor. Yeah. And so let's just plot this first. And what we should see basically is some sort of oscillating curve because we've got these moving averages diverging and converging and so on. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
Okay, let's just have a look anyway. Factor dot plot.
That they're going up and down, right? Like,
Yeah. So you see we got these oscillations.
mhm.
We got these oscillations here. Actually, one of the things that is even better, perhaps, instead of using a total difference, well, one of the problems is because they all have different dollar values, we should really use a percentage difference. So one of the things we can do is instead of using a minus, we use a divided and then subtract 1 from the whole thing. Because now then we have basically, they're all in terms of percentages. Problem is you can see we get some really off the charts values. Actually, maybe that's not really ideal for our purposes. So let's stick with this for now. Yeah, when you do a divide and then there's some really small values somewhere also, then sometimes you get these crazy divergences. And I think they come probably from crude oil or something like this. Because we've got gold. Yeah, they come from RBOB gasoline because it's got these really huge swings. So if we divide it by, then we see these swings which are not so prominent when we just do this. But actually, that's good enough for our purposes. So just to remind you again, when we have a moving average. Oh, in fact, I made a mistake here because what we're actually doing here is we do reds dot rolling, but what we actually want to do is we want to do a moving average between the prices. But what we have here is, in fact, the returns. So what we need to do is we need to take the cumulative sum. So we're basically coming back to the prices and then do this. So that will look a little bit different. So there you go. It oscillates a lot less. And now if we make this a lot bigger, let's say 50 and 500, you will see that there is actually a lot less oscillation in this. There you go. Yeah.